In this tutorial, we will be importing some audio sound effects. We'll be placing them at hit points in our video. We'll render our MIDI tracks to audio. Then we'll replace the movie's original soundtrack with our soundtrack by performing a bounce to movie. So first, let's get some audio files. I'd like a sound effect for these clappers here, maybe something boomy and metallic. Okay, so I'll go to File, Import Audio, search for my sound effects folder. There's a folder here called Booms, and in it something called Slamming Metal Lid. That sounds like it'll work. That sounds good. Choose to add that. Press Done. It's now in my Soundbites window. So spotting the sound effect to a hit point, which I've previously marked with a marker, is very simple. Simply drag the audio into an audio track. Make sure that it's highlighted. Go to Edit and Shift. And there's two selectors up here for shift. I can shift by an amount of time or measures, or I can shift to a marker. So as long as I've got a marker locked to a hit point, I can choose that marker and it will shift whatever I've selected. So I'll choose that. Choose clapper number 1. Press OK. And that shifted to begin right at that marker. And this is regardless of the tempo or the measures. It will shift to wherever I have that marker locked. Do the same thing again to the next marker, but this time I'll use a second audio track. The reason I made two is in case the sound effects bleeds over into the next occurrence, I didn't want to have to cut off or overlap them. So I'll make sure again that it's selected. Choose Edit, Shift. This time I'm going to clapper number 2. And so forth. I've spotted my sound effects, so let's see how they line up with the video. Looks good. Sounds good. Next, we will render our MIDI tracks to audio. It's a process we've done before, but it's probably good to review. First, I'll select my MIDI track and my instrument track pair, and I want to make sure I've selected all the way to the end of the sequence. So I'll hold down my Shift key. This is probably about as far as I need to go. Okay, and I can click this button here and it'll actually jump to the beginning of my sequence. Now I've selected the entire track about as far as I'll need it. Go to Audio, Free Selected Tracks. Alright, the freezing process is finished, so I could delete these tracks or at least mute them. So I'll do that. Now just to add a little bit to the mix, I'm going to open the mixing board and take my two sound effects tracks and maybe pan them hard left, hard right. Let me double check my levels, make sure they're what I want. Okay, and I think I'll keep this mix throughout the entire piece. So I'm going to rewind to the beginning, take a snapshot of my mix, and let it say that for all time. Make sure my automation is turned on. And let's preview. Okay, we're ready to take our new score and replace the original score in the movie with our new soundtrack. This process is similar to doing bounce to disk. It's called bounce to movie. So first off, we'll select all. I can hold the Apple key and click A. That'll select all, or choose it from the edit menu. Then I'll go to audio, go to bounce to disk, and you'll see a bunch of choices here. If we were saving this file to be a high quality audio file and giving it to an editor to place with a movie, we'd probably give them one of the broadcast wave formats. But since we're saving it to a QuickTime movie, something self-contained, I'll choose QuickTime Export Movie. I'm going to check our source, make sure it matches the outputs here. And we can choose a location to save the file. I'm going to choose my project folder, so we'll see it at the upper level of the project folder. Choose OK. Override existing file. That'll erase the original audio in the film and replace it with this audio. And we of course want to include video. Press OK. Let's look in our project folder. There's our bounced movie. Can open it. We can view it at its actual size. Let's check out where those hits are. Make sure they came out. And there you have it. A QuickTime movie with your newly composed soundtrack.